Hey guys, good morning. I'm Miss Carrie and I'm really glad to have story time with you this morning, even if I'm still in my house and you're still in yours. Let's go ahead and have a story time anyway, shall we? Clap your hands if you love stories. Clap your hands, I know you do. I'm so glad that we could be together. Glad to share a story time with you. All right, so I've got a couple more stories and a couple more songs to share with you today. And I'm really excited to share a couple of these with you because they're pretty old stories and you maybe have not heard of them before. Sometimes when I take out books at the library and I put them up on the table, I hear a lot of you guys going, I've read that one, I know that one. But maybe it's time we can use this as an opportunity to learn some stories that we've never heard before. So let's get started. All right. Can I see you hold up your hands first? We got to get warmed up. We got to get our imaginations warmed up. So I want you to pretend that these hands, they're piglets, little piles of piglets. You ready? And these are our pigs. Are we ready? Here we go. 2 mother pigs lived in a pen. Each had 4 babies, and that made how many? 10. These 4 babies were black and white. These 4 babies were black as night. All 8 babies loved to play. Can you make them play together? And they rolled in the mud all day. Make them roll around. At night, with their mothers, they curled up in a heap and squealed till they fell asleep. Did you do that with me? I'm trusting that you did. This is a story of the mouse and the tiger. A long time ago, in a forest, pretty far away, there was a little mouse. And even though that mouse was little and tiny and looked pretty yummy to all of the big, hungry creatures around it, he wasn't afraid. He knew that if they wanted to eat him, they were going to have to catch him first. So one day that mouse was walking through the forest, looking for his food, looking for berries and nuts and other things that mice like to eat. He heard something behind him in the woods. Roar! It was the tiger. And the tiger said, "Hello, little mouse. I was just looking for you. Now you can be my breakfast." And the mouse said, "I don't really want to be breakfast." He had to come up with an idea fast, so he looked around and then he had it. He said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Tiger, but I can't be your meal today. I have a job. You see, I am in charge of watching over the king's pudding." And the tiger said, "The king's pudding?" And the mouse said, "Yes, see?" And he pointed right next to him where there was a mud puddle. And the mouse said, "This pudding is the most delicious pudding in the world, and the king doesn't want anyone else to eat it." The tiger looked at that mud puddle and said, "But I would very much like to taste that pudding." And the mouse said, "Oh no, the king would be so angry with me." And the tiger begged, "Please, little mouse, just one taste." The mouse said, "All right, but first, let me run really far away so that no one will blame me." And the tiger was too eager to taste this pudding to even think about it. So he said, "All right, you run away." And so the mouse ran away as fast as he could. And the tiger leaned over the king's pudding and took a big bite and spat it out all over. He said, "That's not pudding, that's mud." And he ran through the forest as quick as he could until he caught up with the mouse. And he said, "Mouse, you tricked me, but now there's no more jokes, no more tricks. I'm going to eat you." The mouse looked around. He said, "I'm really sorry, Tiger. I can't be your meal. You see, this time I'm being serious. The king has ordered me to guard his drum." And the tiger said, "His drum?" And the mouse said, "Yes, this time I'm really serious. Look, there it is, right up there." And he pointed into the tree where there was a wasp's nest. Do you know what a wasp is? Kind of like a bee. Zzz, sting. And the mouse said, that's the best sounding drum in the whole world, and the king doesn't want anyone else to play it. And the tiger said, I kind of want to give it a hit. And the mouse said, oh no, tiger, you can't hit the drum. The king would hear and he would be very, very angry. And the tiger said, just one little soft little tap, please. And the mouse said, all right, but first I'm going to go over there on the other side of those trees so that the king doesn't blame me. And so the tiger waited until the mouse got on the other side of the trees. And then he reached up his paw and pop! Well, can you just imagine what happened next? He hit that wasp's nest and those wasps all flew out and stung him, and he said, ouch, 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 ouch. And he ran away as fast as he could, but the wasps followed him because that's what wasps do, until finally a tiger came to a stream and dived in, splash, and stayed underwater until the wasps finally flew away. And when he came out, he was very angry. So he ran through the forest as fast as he could until he finally sniffed out that mouse a third time. And he said, Mouse, you tricked me again. And now there is no more escape for you. I am going to eat you. And the mouse looked around and thought. He said, aha! Tiger, I did trick you before, but that's only because I needed you not to find out about this. The king has ordered me to be special guard over his royal belt. And the tiger said, his belt? And the mouse said, yes, it's a big secret. See, it's hiding. I hid it right over there under that tree. And the tiger looked over and saw a beautiful, shiny cobra snake. And he said, that's lovely. That's a lovely belt. And I would very much like to try it on. And the mouse said, no, you cannot touch the king's belt. You really, really cannot touch the king's belt. And then the tiger said, I'm going to put on that belt, whether you like it or not, little mouse. And the little mouse said, all right, but I am seriously getting out of here because I know the king will be so mad. He will find out. And so the mouse ran, but the tiger only had eyes for that beautiful, shiny belt. And he picked it up and he wrapped it around his waist, and it didn't get all the way around before the cobra, who had been sleeping, woke up and was very, very unhappy. And he squeezed and squeezed and squeezed around the tiger, and the tiger called, help, help, help. But the mouse, at this time, had run far, far away, far too far to even hear the tiger's cries, and he did not get eaten that day. All right, that was a pretty silly story, so I think we should have a pretty silly song. We don't have our instruments and things at home with us, I know. Just remember, you can use anything you want to play along. If you don't have sticks, you can go get some wooden spoons that you can tap on the ground or on your legs or together. If you want to have a rattle or something, like a shaky egg, you can use that, or a coffee can, or anything that you could put, something that'll rattle. Maybe you have a baby brother or sister who has a rattle. Maybe you have a cat or a dog who has some things that make rattling or jingling noises. Anything can be an instrument. All right? So we're going to sing The Green Grass Grew All Around and Around. All right? Out in the field, there was a hole, the prettiest hole that you ever did see. There's a hole in the field, and the green grass grew all around and around, and the green grass grew all around, and in that hole there was a root, the prettiest root that you ever did see. There's a root in the hole, and a hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around and around, and the green grass grew all around, and on that root there was a trunk, the prettiest trunk that you ever did see. There's a trunk on the root, and the root in the hole, and the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around and around, and the green grass grew all around, and on that trunk there was a branch, the prettiest branch that you ever did see. There's a branch on the trunk, and the trunk on the root, and the root in the hole, and the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around and around, and the green grass grew all around. And on that branch there was a nest, the prettiest nest that you ever did see. There's a nest on the branch, and the branch on the trunk, and the trunk on the root, and the root in the hole, and the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around and around, and the green grass grew all around. And in that nest there was an egg, the prettiest egg that you ever did see. There's an egg in the nest, and the nest in the branch, and the branch on the trunk, and the trunk and the root in the hole, and the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around. I'm gonna have to go faster so I can get all these words in, right? And in that nest there was an egg. I did that one already. Did you catch me? And on that egg there was a spot, the prettiest spot that you ever did see. There's a spot on the egg in the nest on the branch on the trunk and the root in the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around and around, and the green grass grew all around. And on that spot there was a speckle, the prettiest speckle that you ever did see. There's a speckle on the spot, and the spot on the egg in the nest on the branch on the trunk on the root in the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around and around, and the green grass grew all around. And on that spot there was a flea, the prettiest flea that you ever did see. There's a flea on the spot, and the spot on the speckle, and the speckle on the egg in the nest on the branch on the trunk and the root in the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around and around, and the green grass grew all around. And on that flea there was a leg, the prettiest leg that you ever did see. There's a leg on the flea on the spot, and the spot on the speckle, and the speckle on the egg in the nest on the branch on the trunk and the root in the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around and around, and the green grass grew all around. And on that leg there was a foot, the prettiest foot that you ever did see. There's a foot on the leg on the flea on the spot, and the spot on the speckle, and the speckle on the egg in the nest on the branch on the trunk and the root in the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around and around, and the green grass grew all around. And on that leg, foot, there was a toe, the prettiest toe that you ever did see. There's a toe on the foot, and the foot on the leg on the flea on the speckle on the spot, and the spot on the egg in the nest on the branch on the trunk and the root in the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around and around, and the green grass grew all around. One more. And on that foot, on that toe, there was a nail. Do fleas have toenails? I don't know. And on that toe there was a nail, the prettiest nail that you ever did see. There's a nail on the toe on the foot, and the foot on the leg on the flea on the spot on the speckle on the egg in the nest on the branch on the trunk and the root in the hole in the ground, and the green grass grew all around and around, and the green grass grew all around. Did you get all that? I expect you to play it for me next time. All right, our second story is called Henny Penny. And maybe you know this one. This one's pretty well known, but let's hear it anyway. One day, Henny Penny, who was a hen, that's a chicken, was picking corn in the barnyard, when all of a sudden, on the top of Henny Penny's head, an acorn fell. Now, Henny Penny wasn't the brightest of chickens, and so when the acorn hit her on the head, her first thought was not, hey, an acorn hit me on the head, but it was, the sky is falling! We're all in danger! I have to go tell the king! And so she picked her little way across the barnyard as quickly as she could. And she ran until she came headlong into Cocky Locky. A cock is another name for a rooster. And Cocky Locky said, "Where are you going, Henny Penny, on this fine spring day?" And Henny Penny said, "I'm going to go tell the king that the sky is falling." And Cocky Locky said, "Oh my word! Can I come with you?" And Henny Penny said, "Of course." So Henny Penny and Cocky Locky ran away as fast as they could to tell the king about the sky. And they ran until they ran into Ducky Daddles. And Ducky Daddles said, "Where are you going on this fine spring day?" And Henny Penny said, "We're going to tell the king that the sky is falling." And Ducky Daddles said, "Oh, can I come with you?" And they said, "Of course." And so Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, and Ducky Daddles made their way as quickly as they could toward the king to tell him about the sky. And they ran and they ran and they ran until they ran into Goosey Lucy. And Goosey Lucy said, "Where are you all going on this fine spring day so quickly?" And Henny Penny said, "We're going to tell the king that the sky is falling." And Goosey Lucy said, "That's very important. Can I come with you to tell him?" And they said, "Certainly." And so Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Daddles, and Goosey Lucy ran as quickly as they could to go tell the king. And they were running and running and running until they ran into Turkey Lurkey. And Turkey Lurkey said, "My goodness, where are you all going so quickly on this fine spring day?" And Henny Penny said, "We're going to tell the king that the sky is falling." And Turkey Lurkey said, "Oh my goodness, can I come with you?" And Henny Penny said, "Of course." And so Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Daddles, Goosey Lucy, and Turkey Lurkey ran as quickly as they could out of the farmyard to get to the king. And they were running and running and running when who should they meet but Foxy Loxy. Foxy Loxy being, of course, a fox. And Foxy Loxy said, "Where are you all going on this fine spring day?" And Henny Penny said, "We're going to go tell the king that the sky is falling." And Foxy Loxy said, "But this isn't the way to the king." "But I know the right way. Do you want me to show you?" And the whole group said, of course, tell us, Foxy Loxy." And he said, "Right this way." And so Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Daddles, Goosey Lucy, and Turkey Lurkey followed him as quickly as they could further into the forest. Along they went and along they went until they came to a narrow and dark hole. And it was too narrow for all of them to go through together. And this happened to be the door of Foxy Loxy's home. But Foxy Loxy said to the group, "This is the shortcut to the king's palace, and you'll get there quicker if you follow me here. I'll go first, and you follow me." And they said, "Of course, without doubt, why not?" And so Foxy Loxy headed into his burrow, and he didn't go very far, but he turned around and waited. And the first one through was Turkey Lurkey, and he hadn't gotten very far in the dark when... I wasn't there in the dark, so I can't give you any details, but I think we're all pretty clear that no good things happened. And the other birds waited. And then the Goosey Lucy said, "Okay, it's my turn." And Goosey Lucy made his way into the dark burrow when... And that was the end of Goosey Lucy. After a few minutes passed, Ducky Daddles made their way in. And I think you probably know what happened next. This is a very, very sad story in some parts. And so now all that was left was Cocky Locky and Henny Penny. And Cocky Locky, the rooster, strutted his way into that burrow and suddenly... But the thing about roosters is that they will always crow, whether you want them to or not. And so, before badness struck for him, he had time for just one little cock-a-doodle-dock. And Henny Penny, who had been waiting outside patiently, heard that crow. And into her brain, the thought popped, "Goodness, it must be dawn. It's time for me to go lay my egg." And she completely forgot about everything that she had been doing before and waddled her way back to the barnyard. And that was how she never got to tell the king that the sky was falling. All right, I hope you like those stories today. We're going to be doing story times here for the library every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 10 o'clock. And what the best way to find out about where to go if you want to go to story times, you might want to tell mom this, mom or dad or grandma or grandpa. If you go to the library webpage, you can go to Contact Us and get onto the library's newsletter. And then you will get an email every week that'll tell you all about all kinds of things happening with the library community and lots of helpful information, especially right now, about all the community resources that you might want to know about and maybe you don't know about yet. And there'll be other kinds of activities and things for kids in there. And there'll be a link, hopefully, to Storytimes. If not, you can find us on the library Facebook page. You can find us lots of different places. So let's get ready and get our big stretch in at the end here. And reach for the ceiling. And touch the floor. Stand up again. Let's do some more. Touch your head. And now your knees. Up to your shoulders. Like this, you see. And reach for the ceiling. And touch the floor. That's all there is. There isn't any more.